Warning, this video contains real photographic images of diabetic ulcers and may be very graphic. Viewer discretion is advised. Diabetic foot ulcers are very serious and a very personal subject to me because I suffered for over 11 years and in fact almost died several times from diabetic foot ulcers. This story is told by me, but be advised, I am not a medical doctor. I have no formal medical education, and I am not a diabetes expert. Yet I have lived and almost died several times over the last 30 years. I have lived with type 2 diabetes. They say that type 2 diabetes is a silent killer. And to be honest, that is a true statement. As a layman, not formally educated in diabetes management, I suspect, and like most of you watching this, I never realized how serious type 2 diabetes blood sugar management was and how casually I had been living my lifestyle until it snuck up on me. And I was truly on death's doorstep, literally. I was working at a pharmaceutical manufacturing facility, working as a machinist, and I was required to get some shoes that were dedicated for their facility, cleanliness, sanitary, all of that kind of good stuff. The shoes were provided by the company by a mobile shoe vendor truck. And because I was not fully aware, I also had diabetic foot neuropathy, which is a loss of feelings in my feet. I didn't realize how careful I needed to be with my shoe selection and fitting. But after 2 8-hour shifts wearing these new shoes at work, I noticed huge blisters on the ball of both of my feet. I went to my podiatrist, who is a, foot doctor specialist, who realized the severity of my wounds and recommended I see a wound care specialist at the local hospital right away. So I went to this wound care specialist doctor. He was a ER doctor and a wound care doctor. I mean, he was a good guy. After 6 weeks and 12 treatments with this wound care specialist, he finished evaluating my feet one morning. I think I had an 8 o'clock appointment. And on this one visit, and he was about to leave the room and walk out after, treatment and evaluate. And I asked him, I said, hey, doctor, can you please take another look at my feet? And he says, well, why? Is there a problem? And I said, well, I just have a funny feeling. I'm not sure. And he looked at my feet again very carefully. And he says, no, they're healing up great. You're on the road to recovery and healing. And that was about 8:15 in the morning on 11/10 of 2011. I remember this date. I was supposed to get baptized the following day. But later that evening, I felt like I was getting the dreaded flu. I mean, I had chills and a fever, and I went in and laid down and put all the blankets and covers on me. I mean, I had the bad chills. Laid down in bed. A few minutes later, my wife came into the room and said, she happens to be a registered nurse, and she asked me, what's wrong? And I was just grouchy and mad and cold and shivering. And I said, nothing, leave me alone. I just have the flu. Well, my wife insisted on inspecting me from head to toe. And oh my gosh, I was so mad at her. And well, she inspected me anyways. And She pulled off the heavy blankets and started her assessment from head to toe. And by the end, she pulled off my socks to reveal my right foot. It had swelled up like a giant brown football. It was nasty looking. She rushed me to the emergency room right away at our hospital, and they rushed me in immediately. They said I had a bad septicemia infection in my right foot. They scheduled emergency surgery on my right foot, and, well, I guess privately they had told my wife, I didn't know this for several days, privately they told my wife that I was not going to survive the night or the surgery. And she needed to make preparation and arrangements that night. I woke up the next morning, though, and I was seemingly okay. Where am I asked. Just then, an orthopedic surgeon from the hospital came in and unwrapped my foot. I mean, it was just boom, 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 boom. Hi, my name is Dr. and I'm here to take a look at your foot. And he unwrapped it, and it had, oh my gosh, I literally broke down in tears. It had looked like a grizzly bear had mauled and chewed on my foot for a while. The foot was literally split into two on the big toe and the next toe over. Foot was split about 4 inches apart, and it literally just looked like a grizzly bear. The orthopedic surgeon there said, oh my gosh, there's no saving this foot or lower leg. We've got to amputate immediately. And I didn't accept his diagnosis. He looked at his watch and he said, oh, look, I've got a surgical suite waiting in 45 minutes. And I said, no, doctor, I want a second opinion on this from another doctor. He said, oh, no. He says, you're just in shock. We've got to do this amputation surgery immediately. You could die from this, he said. I said, no, doctor, I want another doctor's opinion. And he claimed, no, you're just in shock and we're going to do this amputation anyways, 45 minutes. And I cried out and I said, no. Get the F out of my room. And I was streaming in tears. And I want a second doctor's opinion. And he again was arguing with me, and I screamed louder and more obscenities. And then some nurses came in the room and ushered that orthopedic surgeon doctor out of the room. And the rest is in another video I'm going to do. But needless to say, this was truly a life and death experience, a life and death complication of type 2 diabetes. So, spoiler alert, I still have my leg and body complete today. It's the end of 2023. But what did I learn after several serious type 2 diabetes complication issues over the years? And ongoing diabetic foot ulcer issues. For years, I sought treatment from, I believe, 13 different podiatrist doctors, all claiming they could help cure my foot ulcer problem. Now, understand, I ended up moving several times during that time and several states. And so I wasn't like doctor hopping or anything like that. It was just, that's how many I ended up seeing in the places we moved over the next number of years. All while hoping and praying that I did not get another septicemia infection in my open ulcer wound in my foot. I mean, I tried everything. I tried various cleaning methods, a slew of oral and IV antibiotics, including that powerful vancomycin IV stuff, supposedly the strongest antibiotic. Nothing let it heal. I still had to try to walk on my foot, although I wasn't very good, but then it was suggested I try this really great Manuka honey from New Zealand. This stuff was like $150 a jar for these tiny little jars. And I did that for years and nothing worked. No doctor could heal my wound. I was always like, why? I mean, I was so in disbelief to why this wound would never heal. I mean, after years and years, doctors always asked how my blood sugars were. How's your A1C results? I always responded that, well, I'm taking all my prescription medications. I'm taking 5 injections a day, plus my many oral pharmaceutical medications too. But after years of suffering with type 2 diabetes, I believe that modern medicine could cure anything, but nothing seemed to help this foot ulcer heal and go away. For some reason, I just didn't know. Who knows why? Years of open diabetic foot ulcers, I was going to the emergency room usually 2 to 3 times a year with extended hospital stay for days or even a week or two at a time. Doctors always claiming there must be an infection in the bone. Of course, when I had CAT scans and MRIs done, they never found any, bone infections, and probably would have amputated my foot right down there, but they never noticed anything. But, my blood sugars they always seem kind of high, especially during the day after meals. And it dawned on me, well, maybe I should see is there anything I can do other than pharmaceuticals to lower my blood sugars down? But I didn't know how. Nobody ever told me. I never thought about. I started reading about how people were eating this so-called keto eating method, very low carbohydrates, like less than 40 a day. And that's hard to do, but it's not impossible. And oh yeah, people claimed, I've lost all this weight eating keto, and that was great. And well, I needed to lose weight too, but I was needing to lower my blood sugar and get better blood sugar control. So I tried eating keto. I just decided I was going to do it hell or high water. So I ate less than 40 carbohydrates a day for about 6 months. And yes, I lost 83 pounds during that 6 months. But that wasn't the biggest miracle. The biggest miracle happened when, after about 3 months of eating keto, low carbohydrates, my foot ulcers healed completely. And I mean, not a little, they healed completely in 3 months of eating low carb keto. So for what it's worth, my blood sugars were in the morning between 80 and 100. Now, yes, I had lowered my medications down quite a bit with my doctor's advice, but I had cured the ulcers by eating keto, low carb. Now, it's been several years later, and today I still eat keto, carnivore. Carnivore is eating a lot of meat, and I eat some keto too mixed together. But I eat primarily low carb, and my feet and my blood sugars are great today. My A1C is in the perfectly normal range. And I take virtually very little pharmaceutical medications for diabetes. So take it for what it's worth. Like I said, I am not a doctor. I'm not prescribing anything. Take it for what it's worth from just my true story and my opinion of what worked for me. If you like this video, if you got anything out of this video, please like and subscribe, and please comment below, as I am truly interested in your comments and want to hear your story about diabetic foot ulcers. Take care.